Ladies and germs, we are live. We are live. Give me a second. Let me post the link for the people on Twitter. Ow! You know what I mean? Couple of things I want to talk about tonight or expand upon at least. Already did an episode of the relay on them. Fucking hell. I just posted the shit without the link. Late night talks. Because we got to talk about it, son. Got to get down to the nitty gritty. Yummy. Couple of subjects I want to touch on. Some I already spoke about on an episode of the relay, but I want to expand the conversation to the people on the panel. Tyrion was good. Sasori Kaloke. No country. Jump tube. Yo. Leo in the building. Filipino in the building. Iron Cabe is in the building. Jaguar. Ow. Y ya tú sabes, manín. Man, I tried to get the debate popping between Alexis and Sawab, but because they're in different time zones, I really I don't want Alexis to think that I'm egging him on per se. I wanted them to settle their differences because Sawab's issue with Alexis seems to be that, he's a big fan of all things Top Rank. So what I was trying to do was give them the platform to have the debate or the discussion while I monetize and capitalize off the issues that they have with each other. But, as far as all the name calling and all that different stuff, I don't go for that. And Alexis knows that y'all can have the debate and I'll moderate it so where it's respectful. But if it's going to be all sorts of bitches and then I don't go for that myself. So, I just hope Alexis knows that it ain't that kind of party. What's goody? The WBC breakfast belt, someone up with Jules, Ron Boy, Eson, and me in the pictures was hilarious. Aye! And yeah, I just wanted Alexis to know that because I kind of got the sense that he thought that I was egging him on. Well, no, I'm not egging him on. If he tagging you and atting you and quote tweeting you, that's not because I'm telling him to do that, feel me? I'm just telling y'all, if y'all want to debate, sort it out, you could do it here. I could get the money. I'll send y'all $20. Whoever won a debate, we'll run a poll. Whoever wins the poll after the debate is over, send them $20 for the winner while I get 100, 200, 300 for having staged the debate. You know what I mean? Yummy. That exactly. Don't ask me. Never let a crisis go to waste. Everything is a money-making opportunity. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, especially in showbiz, which technically this is showbiz because I'm going to show you biz and make money off it. One thing that immediately came to mind talking about today's stories or stories that have been in the news the last couple of days, Shakur Stevenson had to get, he had to get wild with these guys because they tried to accuse him of going against the grain for the simple fact that he gave a good boxer a compliment. And I did about 2 episodes on it, but I want to expand the conversation to the panel that it's almost like a bully tactic to try to coerce someone to fall in line with your way of thinking by making them feel as if they're neglecting their own people. It's almost a bully tactic is what it is. It's kind of like cancel culture, except they're really not. Well, yeah, I mean, it is cancel culture in a manner of speaking that unless you do as I say, or unless I fall in line with your beliefs, or unless your beliefs fall in line with mine, that somehow you're going against the grain or you're going against the culture over something as simple as him giving Bam Rodriguez a compliment. And for giving him that compliment openly, you know what I mean? It's like you want to turn that into something bad based on the garbage and the bull that you tell your subscribers, those brain dead idiots. Who you got in Garcia versus Fortuna? I want to give Fortuna one last look. I do want to give him one last look, but believe it or not, for all the crap I give Ryan, I always maintain that's actually a good fight. Believe it or not, Fortuna versus Garcia is a good fight because Javier Fortuna is a rough and rugged customer. He's been around the block. I remember him being a southpaw, and he's a guy who's very seasoned. Whereas Ryan Garcia, he looked like doo-doo in his last fight. He looked like complete doo-doo. And I wouldn't mind it at all if Javier Fortuna upset the apple cart for him, believe it or not. But I want to give Javier one more look before I make my decision on that, I do want to give him one more look. Drew says, shout out to Drew. I love how Glacier and others are now saying the info they got was wrong when it comes to AJ versus Usyk being on DAZN in the UK. Dudes really thought Eddie and Len Blavatnik fumbled the DAZN Saudi deal. Well, I'll say this much, Drew. It's not that they might have been misinformed for me. It's more like they were too quick to jump to the conclusion for me that DAZN wouldn't get the fight. One thing stood out to me, and it's that even if you bid for the fight, right, you're talking about bidding for a fight where you don't have any of the fighters under contract. You don't have AJ under contract. You know where he's going to be after this fight. Usyk, you don't have him under contract. So would a broadcaster put up an insane amount of money to show a fight when they don't have none of these guys under contract? They don't really do business with this promotional outfit, or they won't moving forward. Too many people, I feel, jump to the conclusion that, oh, it's going to end up here and there, when, look, we don't know. The truth, I don't know what they were going for aside from perhaps optimizing profits. You know, that maybe they want to auction off the fight to the highest bidder, assuming someone bids more than DAZN. I felt like maybe, I don't know, maybe they're just leaving that door open in case Sky might be willing to pay more than DAZN, even though they're not expecting them to, because I reiterate, you don't have any of these fighters under contract. So how much money are you going to spend for a one-off fight? AJ is not your fighter. Usyk, at least not right now, he's not your fighter. So you're going to break the bank to show them fighting when moving forward they may not be on your network. So that was kind of like a gray area for me. Juan Carrillo says, shout out to Juanito, que lo que manín? What did Jules? Mayor, oh, you know who I got, man? Alicia Baumgartner, all motherfucking day. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I am, but I spend all year being objective. Why I can't be biased? Why I can't pick a side and stay on that side? You know what I mean? Alicia Baumgartner is the goddamn truth. And I'm going to tell you what. In the build-up of the Harper fight, I spoke to Alicia more than once or twice. And you could hear it in her voice, the power of belief. You could hear it that she felt, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to knock her out. And it's eerie because if you look at the interviews that she did on DAZN, where they asked her about it, like, so, you know, what should we expect? What's going to happen? Oh, I'm going to go in there and knock her out. And she said it in a way that was just so matter of fact that it's like, yeah, I'm going to just go in there and knock her out. And, you know, it is what it is. That it's like, yo, it's like she knew. So I've been, you know, I keep up with her, say what up, da-da-da-da-da. And it's the same thing. She like, nah, I'm going to knock her out. Ain't no other option. I'm going to knock her out. I believe in Alicia Baumgartner. Shout out to the Baumgartner, wherever on earth she may be at this time. But I'm going with Baumgartner. Till the wheels fall off, I'm with Baumgartner. Rick and War a Week Radio jumped to that conclusion fast. I agreed, bro, because that's who I seen. That's who I saw jumping to the conclusion that it's a misstep, when for me it kind of looked like maybe what they're doing is they're just leaving the door open to auction off the fight. That doesn't necessarily mean that DAZN won't have it, but one thing that they could be doing is, hey, if Sky wants to bid through the nose to show this fight, let's capitalize on it. That doesn't mean they will, because in all likelihood, how much is Sky going to want to pay for two fighters that they don't have under contract? Even if it is a really big fight that is going to get worldwide attention, how much of their own money, how much of their own budget are they going to put on the line to show a fight between two guys that they don't have under contract? AJ wins, you don't get his fights moving forward. The contract states that he's going to fight on DAZN exclusively moving forward. So it's kind of like, it's, you know, I didn't rush the judgment. The only thing that I did say is that if the fight were to end up on another platform, well, that kind of sucks for DAZN. You know, that does kind of suck for them if the fight were to end up on another platform, because obviously they do a lot of business with Matchroom. Obviously they do some business with AJ, at least here in America. That's where we've seen his fights. So for them to not get the fight in a scenario where they don't get the fight, yeah, that would suck for them. How bizarre would it be if we watched Joshua versus Usyk and we were watching it by way of ESPN Plus or by way of Showtime, by way of Fox? That would really screw over DAZN, and they would miss all those eyes. They would miss all those ears. That was the scenario that I presented, that if the fight were to end up somewhere else, that would suck for them. Yummy, yummy. And yeah, man, going with the Alicia Boom Gardner for the boom. She's gonna boom the shit out of Mikaela Mayer. Yeah, already. No. Shorty Macchiao in the OG in the house picking the checkers. Get this happening. And yeah, man. But back to just the Shakur thing, it's just so toxic, bro, that they really tried to use a bully tactic against this young guy. Thankfully, that he knows who he is. He's a centered enough individual that he caught the bullshit. Because it's bullshit, fam. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, fam? How you figure that me giving him a compliment mean I'm against y'all? Like, what kind of, Like, fam, like, y'all say anything on the internet. And that's really the sad part, that, it's a double-edged sword. The internet, YouTube, these kinds of platforms, it's a double-edged sword. In one way, it can be conducive towards the growth of the sport and acquiring information and learning new things, yada, 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 inspiring, yada, yada, yada. But on the other end, it could be very toxic. You take an app like Twitter, where people volunteer their opinions to you in a very rude and brash way when you ain't even asking them. Like, bro, I don't give a fuck how this app is set up. I didn't ask you, and I always remind motherfuckers, I didn't ask you what you think about shit. So, don't tell me. You tell your followers that. If you got followers, whether it's 24 or 24,000, you tell them what you think, bro. I didn't ask you. Regardless of what app it is, Instagram, Facebook, I didn't ask you shit, bro. If I put something out there on my page, it's my page. Feel me? And it's just wild, man. Shit, Leo going with Mikaela. And Leo's predictions are usually pretty good. This past weekend, we saw Jay Opataya. The prediction stuck. I wanted Jay to win. Admittedly, it wasn't just picking him. I wanted him to win, and he won. I'm very happy about that. My Australians, they got a new champion. He's not just a champion. He's the Ring Magazine. He's the Lineal and the IBF. Jay Opataya, yeah. Cyborg versus Katie Taylor is intriguing. Cyborg is a beast. She's an MMA champ. Then went on to fight like a pro female kickboxing champ who also works as a bouncer in Amsterdam and almost beat her. Hey, man, I like the Holly Holm fight. I said it in my previous video. I really don't want to spend too much time on that because I said it in my previous video. Holly Holm is not just a crossover fight. She was a boxer. One of the best arguably in the history of the sport. So those two eras meeting up with each other, the old lion versus the young lion, the new lion versus the old lion, I love it. And Holly takes care of herself. Like, if you follow her Instagram or whatever, you can see she's still physically fit. It's like riding a bike to her, whereas with Cyborg, yeah, she has size and that's great and all of that, but it's the novelty fight because she's not a boxer. Regardless of whatever, you're not a boxer. You're not going to have the muscle memory of a boxer. It's not going to be like riding a bike for you because you don't come from that. Holly Holm come from that. She the preacher's daughter. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, goddammit. Mountain Dew football in the building. No, it's Jay. Look, I know y'all say Joy in Australia, but in America, it's Jay. It's Jay Opataya, ya. Ya. Who that? Only the old heads is going to remember that song. Is Alexis versus Sawab a no-go? Yo, man, I don't know, man. I tried to get it popping for them. I really wanted them to do the debate. I tried to set it up. I tried to orchestrate it. But I think Alexis is probably mad at me. He thinks that I'm egging on Sawab, and I'm not. What I'm trying to do is give them the platform to hash it out in a civilized manner and may the best man win. But, I ain't spoke to Alexis in 2-3 days. I tried to tag him and all of that, but happy 4th for everyone as I represent all of the cancers in the building. Salute you all. Beware, Mayor is a fellow cancer. Yay! JT Money reference with that song. You already know. Who that trying to get it with my crew? I'm an old motherfucker, man. Juan Carrillo in the building, son. JT Money and Soleil. Yeah, it's a couple of old heads just like me in the building. So I'm going to open up the chat to the panel, and I'm going to go around the board. A particularly good bit of news, at least for me. I was very happy about it when I heard it. I know that Josh Taylor has now vacated the WBC title, and looks like he's going to be fighting Jack Cataract again, Jack Casserole. I want to get everybody's thoughts on that. So I'm going to open up the chat to the panel. Yummy. Que lo que, manín? Jessica Sala, que lo que, manín? Jay, if Triple G loses versus Nello, does Triple G unify with Jamal? Does he fight Andre? Or does Triple G sell his belts to Munguia for one more cash out? Thoughts? Honestly, out of those three options, I would say Munguia because of the platform. If he decides to fight Munguia, it's still a big cash fight that the demographic that he normally caters to consumes. Remember, he was Mr. Mexican style, big dramacho, Mexican style, and all that stuff. A fight between Munguia and Triple G commercially, whose mic is that? If you got a fucked up mic, man, I'm kicking you off. Just letting you know. A fight between Triple G and Munguia still, it does well commercially, even if Triple G were to lose or to get stopped by Canelo Alvarez. That fight still does well in the Southwest or on the West Coast. Just talking dollars and cents, which the funny thing is Triple G said he may not retire, but I don't know if I believe that shit. So I'm going to start at the top. Shit, where the comments go? Drew, you know that Josh Taylor, he vacated the second alphabet title he was holding on to. He vacated the WBC title. It looks like he wants to fight Jack Catterall for the second time. How do you feel about that move?
Jules, I like that Josh Taylor, as he's known on this channel. I like that he's doing it. He knows what's up, Jules. He knows he didn't dominate Jack. That fight was too close to move on. And he also knows by dumping the belts, Jules, everybody's going to look at those other guys as paper champions.
That's a good point.
While he's still in the division. So he can go up there. He can beat Catterall. I'm more interested in, Jules, where does he go from there, though, Jules?
Look, I'll address that subject because I have a good idea where he goes. Okay. Yo, it's me.
Real quick, too, Jules. Is there a potential that he has to take that fight because he can't come over to the United States, Jules?
Oh, yeah, I touched on that already. That's what I said. What I said. No, before I move on, that's what I said, that a Zapata fight's value, right? Jose Zapata's value and fighting him is in America. Well, what if Josh can't come here? Then what? Jose Zapata don't got no value in the UK, so fighting him over there would be pointless. Who does have value in the UK because of the controversial scoring is Jack Casserole. So,
Is that a tuna or is that a tuna casserole?
It's a tuna casserole. I love tuna casserole. Yo, it's me. What do you think about that? Are you happy that he's fighting Jack Tuna Casserole again? Or did you want to see him fight Zapata more?
I wanted him to fight Jack because I thought Jack won that fight. I think Jack edged it out. And I think it also opens up the division for more world champions. So I guess make their name more known.
So you like the move?
Yeah, because I thought Jack won that fight, and I think Josh needs to redeem himself.
Fair enough. Jay, do you like the move? Do you like that he's vacated the second alphabet title he was holding on to in order to fight Jack Cataract for a second time?
First, before I get my answer, I just want to say, Jules, congratulations for making the Boxing Scene article.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Listen, don't thank me. Thank Jake Donovan. Shout out to Jake Donovan. He didn't have to do that, but he did it. I appreciate it. He really didn't have to do that. That shows a lot of character that he did that he has character, that he has a moral compass, because he didn't have to. And if I wouldn't have got, honestly, I don't look for credit. Like,
Jules, you know why you got it? You're doing something right. That's why you got it.
Yeah. You're a Capricorn. You don't want credit.
Man, I'm just here money. With this beard, with these eyes and these eyebrows, B. That's all. That's all I'm doing.
Jules, you work hard, man, and you deserve it. You work hard.
Hey, man. Let's not have a jerk session in here.
All right. Fellas, I'm telling you.
If I want to get jerked off, I go to my right. Let's stick
All
to
right.
the
Fella, I'm
boxing.
telling you, fellas, he don't like that shit. He likes the money and the fights.
All right.
Capricorn
All right.
shit.
Cool. Fair
Honest to
enough. All right.
God, I don't know how to take a compliment. To be honest with you, that's why I'm like, I literally
I just
do.
say thank you. and keep it
Now he's
moving.
lying because he only takes compliments from the ladies. So now we know
Oh,
he's lying.
stop
Come
it.
on, keep it
Stop
boxing.
it.
Come on, out mic him.
Yay.
He
Are you
got
happy
you,
with
Jules.
the move? Are you happy with the move, or would you have preferred to see the Zapata fight?
You know what? I'm kind of split because my thing was like, I want him to run it back with I want to toss Jailer to run it back with Jack. And my thing is like, okay, could he have like petitioned a certain sanctioning bodies to be like, okay, let me run it back with Jack, then I'll fight my mandatories and do whatever else. I'm sure they would, if he would have petitioned them, I'm sure they would have allowed it. But also, like, I have no problem with the Zapata fight either because that's also a good fight as well. Because everybody on this panel knows that Zapata ain't no joke either. So I really had no issues with either scenario happening. I mean, but it's just unfortunate that he had to vacate. He lost 2 titles now. He has to like run it back with Jack, unfortunately. And I kind of don't like when people champs vacate the titles. I mean, I mean, just that's just my 2 cents on it. So but hey, he has to run it back with Jack. Hopefully, we get a. I think this time around, the fight will be more competitive, and I think both guys might go for a knockout this time.
Country, do you like his chances in the second fight to perhaps win more decisively than he did in the first?
Well, I'm happy he's going and getting this fight because it's unfinished business. He left that first fight really controversial. Pretty much everybody felt he lost. He needs to go back. He's got unfinished business. Judging based off the last performance, it could be an uphill battle. But he needs to go through this and needs to come out on top with the win by hook or crook to show.
Well, he came through by crook already. He need to come through by hook now because he came through by crook.
Very true. He needs to come through with that win and show that he can actually beat Catterall and shut people up. That's why I wasn't tripping about him dropping the belt because this is, to me, this is more important and needed to happen. Otherwise, people are going to continually talk about him if he didn't.
They'd never let it go. They would never let it go.
Exactly. So this is going to put it to bed once and for all. He can get that other belt back later on if he wants.
If he wants, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need it.
And like I said, Jules,
but he can get it back, and then he can go on with his career and have a better career and have people actually look at him in a better light.
Now, let's say this, Leo. I got a different question for you. This basically means that in all likelihood, we're going to see Zapata versus Ramirez do it again. Do you think that it goes the same way it did the first time out? A lot of people feel that Jose Ramirez didn't look good in that fight. I've even seen some people say they felt that Chong did enough. Who do you see winning that fight?
First of all, hello, everyone. First of all, for what I saw in the Jack Catterall fight against Josh Taylor, I don't favor Josh Taylor to win that rematch. I think he's gonna. I think he's gonna lose convincingly, decisively by points.
Bullshit!
Wow.
Matter of fact, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait till we're done with this subject, and then I'm going to say what I'm going to say because I don't want to influence anybody's opinion.
Yeah, and with your question about the Zapata versus Jose Ramirez, I think Sean is going to knock him out.
¿Qué? Leo, ¿tú estás bebiendo?
Leo's on one tonight,
man. I have a little hangover, but I'm not drinking.
El diablo. Que va a noquear Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
El diablo. Isan, what do you think about the move? Do you like the move? Do you not like the move?
Wait, say again, my bad.
Well, I thought Patti LaBelle had great breasts. Do you agree with that?
They were great.
Agreed. Now, do you like the move? Do you like that he's fighting Jack again, or would you have preferred to see him fight Cho?
Oh no, I like the Jack fight better. The Jack fight, you got it on that back because you can go knockout Sean, but that's not gonna erase the fact that you came off a controversial decision to do it, and like most people feel that you lost. Like knocking out Chong ain't gonna do nothing to that. Like, I think Chong's a good fighter, but dude, you gotta fight
I
to do
think
that.
Chung is better than Jack, to be
You
honest
can't
with
lose
you.
that, and people will never let that up. So I like the move. I like the Catterall rematch because I think Josh is gonna knock him out in a rematch, and then we get to see Zepeda versus Ramirez too. Because a lot of people thought Zepeda won that fight, and it was a great fight. And Josh can guess what? Reunify with the winner. If Ramirez knocks out fucking Zapata bad, I want to see that Taylor rematch, or the winner of that fight is gonna have to fight Regis anyway at a mandatory next year. So,
well, you know
either
what?
way, Josh is gonna have opponents at 140 if he gets past Jack.
Win for everybody.
That's what I was gonna say. That in a way, Josh is hitting the reset button for himself, because if he makes it through that fight, there's a series of other fights that can happen that can be built into money fights. Now, obviously, if Jose Ramirez were to beat Chung, right? Beat him again. Well, nobody really wants to see Ramirez versus Taylor too. But what if Chung beats Ramirez? Or what if Ramirez beats Chung and then he fights Teofimo Lopez?
A lot of it's gets built in, like you said, Jules, because whoever wins those vacant belts that Josh gave up, all the fans are going to look them as paper champions.
They are.
Josh is still the man.
Until they beat him, because he hasn't left. He
Exactly.
hasn't left.
And
no, nobody beat him for the belts. He just vacated. That's it. Nobody beat him.
And it's not because he's scared of nobody. You know, like one thing, like, look, this is one thing I want to say before I pass it to Virtuoso. I feel like they're doing with Jack Catterall what they did with George Kambosos. That's what I think. You caught him. You caught him, and nobody wants to say it because all of a sudden it's okay to be a dickbag to Josh Taylor, my fellow Capricorn. And he's a lot of things, but a pussy ain't one of them. A pussy ain't one of them. He running it back with that man where that man said, you don't want to run it back. Like, listen, bro, you got lucky. You caught him off a leg injury. I noticed that he wasn't throwing the leaping uppercut.
And Julius, let's not forget, Julius. Josh, listen, I got good information from a known Brit reporter that's been saying Josh had a little bit of fun after that Undisputed victory, which we know of. He did, and he was a little bit big. So that's also another reason, and you can see it on it. You can just see, like, dude, you don't go from looking fantastic versus Regis, Ramirez, and all those guys, and then all of a sudden you fight Jack Caterpillar and you're fucking struggling like you got 10 arms.
And he has too much fucking hair. What is he hiding?
Yeah.
Like, what is he like, bro, why is there hair on your forehead?
Yeah.
What are you hiding?
There's nothing wrong with this move. It's a great move. Really, because like nobody should be even arguing against this because everybody was talking shit. You lost. Okay, if you think he lost, he's running it back. If people like to just talk shit and then the same people aren't gonna say at least he's running it back. And if he wins, and when he knocks, I really do think he's gonna knock Jack out. I really do.
That's my prediction, and I'm saying it now. He's gonna knock Jack Catterall out.
Yeah, it's gonna be. This is gonna be if Tio could have stayed at 35 and fought George again. This is gonna be that.
This is gonna.
And
wait, I haven't gone to Virtuoso yet. Virtuoso,
yeah.
Are you happy with the move? Is this what you wanted?
Yes.
All right.
This is what he was supposed to do, man. This is what champions are supposed to do. They're supposed to give them, their get back. They were supposed to like let the fans know, like, listen, man, I'm gonna do things right this time. I'm with it. Like I was thinking that he wasn't gonna do it, but then when this news came up, I'm like, good for Josh.
I didn't think he was gonna do it either. Honestly, I didn't like. I honestly did because it's like it would have required him, and I said that. It would have required him to vacate another title. So for that, I was like, well, I don't think he's going to do that. And he's doing it. And honestly, I like it.
Yeah. Also, I like to add that Jack Catterall's hairline is fucked up. I don't know what the fuck is going on over there.
I don't why is he combing his hair that way?
Probably a toupee.
That is such a British thing right there. Like, I don't know.
Julio, do you like the move?
I like the move. He's literally just doing what everyone told him to do, which is to run it back. And to Badu Jack Catterall's credit, I think he does have some underrated skills. But if it's like the Shane McGuigan era Taylor, he's probably gonna knock him out. If that's the one that comes out on that night, I think he'll probably stop him too.
Well, he has the added incentive of all the bad things and the way he's been talked about and treated.
His
after the
too.
fight.
They've been harassing his family too.
They've been harassing his family, and if you know anything about Capricorns, right? If you make one mad, it's very hard to turn them off. Now he's mad all the time, so imagine him being more mad than he's already mad, because he's mad all the time.
Yeah, I mean, look, you had a member of parliament actually trying to dispute the decision. Okay, granted, it was a kind of a robbery.
That
but
was a little bit too dramatic.
I look at this as British oppression, and the Scots are gonna not take too kindly to this thing. And I see Josh wearing war paint to the rematch.
I think he's gonna knock him out. I'm gonna say this. I don't think a lot of people are gonna like it, but it's one of those situations to where you don't want to admit. See, they look at it as excuses, where I have to reconcile how you go in there and you look how you looked with Ivan Baranchik. You look how you looked with O'Hara Davies and Victor Postol. He didn't look great with Victor Postol, but he got the job done. You look how you looked with Regis Prograis. You look how you looked with Jose Ramirez. So you could stink out the place with Jack Catterall. No, I don't think Jack is that good. I never did. Like, no.
Let me ask you a question. Being how the junior welterweight division has developed over the last 3 years, from where it was, from the World Boxing Super Series to now, do you think like Taylor is going to stick around here and see and look at it like, maybe I got some big fights around here that I could make?
No, I mean, he does have now that we're over that hump, right? And we've gotten everybody's reactions. There are big fights, bigger fights for him at 140 than 147, because all the belts at 147 is still in the same place. Whereas at 140, if Chung beats Jose Ramirez, all right, you got a good little fight right there. Even better if one of you fights Teofimo, who is about to debut at 140 pounds in August. So you got some little money fights right there. You know, the WBA, he's fighting a guy named Campas, domestic guy. He hasn't fought anybody good. He's got a winning record, 33 wins, something like 2 losses, maybe 3. And you know, it's a get him back. It's a get him active kind of fight. You know what I mean? Like, this guy's not a world level guy. He's not a world level guy, and he hasn't fought world level guys. So it's that kind of fight. And I'm okay with that. That kid's had a rough time.
Did y'all know that Campbell was supposed to fight Zepeda and Broner, but he pulled out?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
It's like this with Josh Taylor and Catterall. It's like, you ever get with a John and you're like, you give her your mediocre stroke the first time. You're like, she cool, but I'm not into it. Mm-hmm. And then she starts talking, but then she wants to see you again. So now you're really going to punish her.
It's that in all seriousness.
Very specific.
I see it as a guy. You caught him at a very vulnerable time. That's really what it was. It's kind of like George. That, look, I don't got nothing against George. I gave George his flowers. But if Teofimo would have ran it back with him, I think Teofimo would have knocked him out. I think, you fought the worst version of Teofimo. I'm not trying to discredit you or nothing, but I really do think you fought the worst version of that guy. And with Josh, it's kind of like that, because I'm like, Josh do certain shit in a fight on a regular basis that he didn't do in that fight. And I don't believe it's because of how nice Jack is. Because, bro, Jack ain't fought nobody. Fuck out of here.
I mean, see, what was wrong, I saw in the fights, like, he pretty much let Jack beat him to the punch several times.
What I saw is he didn't get something was wrong with his leg. Or he was getting over. I think something was wrong with his leg, because normally what he do, he not a jabber. He don't jab his way in. He throw leaping uppercuts or leaping hooks, and he step off his front foot to do it. And I think something was wrong with his leg, or something was wrong. And I know that he got injured, which is why the fight took so long. It was supposed to happen last year.
It was postponed the first time due to his leg,
So I'm thinking, like, if anything, that's what the fuck it was. Because I'm like, you're not going to tell me that you look that way with all these other guys that are more proven than him, so you could get in front of him. What? Because he's that fucking nice? Come on, fam. Come on now. It ain't that. It's that you caught him at the right time. And yes, I did have Jack Catterall winning the fight. By all rights, yes. He should be undisputed champion right now. But Josh ain't the one that scored the fight, bro. I'm just saying. Josh was in the ring with you. And I know if he get back in the ring with you, he gonna knock you out. He gonna knock you out. Like, I don't got no doubt in my mind. He gonna beat the shit out that man. Watch.
What do you think Josh does next after this? Move up to 147?
Nah, he don't go to 47, because it's not that it's fights up there, but it's what it always was, bro. All the belts is at the PBC. You're not gonna get none of them. You're not.
You You think Josh ducks Zepeda?
No. He can always come back around.
I mean, do you think he's going to try to get all the belts back again? Pretty much, he's going to.
Yeah,
I don't see that, to be real with you, because he can't get them all back. WBA is going with the win. I don't know. That might wash up ashore on PBC Island because I don't know them guys. Who are them guys?
Puello and somebody who's the other guy?
Alberto Puello and some Baca Dicker. He's got like some K's and some Z's in his name or some. I don't know them guys, man.
No. But as long as Josh is in that division, whoever gets the belt is going to be like Tommy Gunn and Rocky V. Like everybody's going to laugh at him. Like, bro, Josh is in the division. How you calling yourself a champ?
That's real. I mean, because reality is, even if he ain't got all the belts, he's still the man to beat because he the ring mag and he the lineal. He's still that, and that's really how you know. You can have a WBA, whatever the fucking shit is worth. If you can't, the other thing is, whoever wins that fight, the WBA fight, maybe it'll be Puello, maybe it'll be the other guy, right? Who you gonna fight after that, bro? If you ain't fighting Josh and you ain't fighting Jose, who are you fighting, fam? All you gonna have is a belt. That's it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they get you a Gervonta Davis fight. I don't know. You know what I mean? But you ain't no money fight for you. Not unless you gonna fight them. Not that Teofimo's gonna be in that division. We could see that Taylor versus Lopez fight, and that's a good fight. That is a good fight.
Who else do you think is a good fight for Tio? In that
a lot of guys at 40, man. A lot of guys at 40. Jose Ramirez, Ocho.
Barboza's up there too.
Barboza's there. That's another good fight for him.
What about Prograis?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Prograis in limbo, bro. It's his own. Like, look, I like Prograis. I know I'm a fan of Prograis. Like, I don't think most guys at that weight beat him, right? But the shit is, you made a lot of weird moves. You went to the PBC looking for a Broner fight. When you saw you couldn't get it, you left. I understood. You jumped into bed with Triller last year. You had one fight, the Ivan Redcatch fight. Pointless fight. Didn't do nothing for your career. Didn't move you up the ranks. Didn't do shit, right? Did that. Then instead of going to Top Rank or instead of going to Matchroom, hell, even the PBC would have been a better move than where you at. You went to Pro Bellum. What the fuck are they going to do for you, bro? What you going to do?
He went further away from the titles, went further away from the action here to go to a Middle Eastern project. I don't know, man. I gotta talk. Something has to be done with his management. Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, like, look, Peter Berg, the actor, Peter Berg, and y'all know who Peter Berg is.
Oh, yes. Yep.
That's his man. I'm like, look, you seem to be in with the right people. You seem to have friends in high places. I think he even knows Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yeah, I think Peter and Mark were his managers, both of them. I think, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like but why out of all the outfits, you a 140-pound fighter. I mean, like, look at your division. Look at where the belts are, right? You a 140-pound fighter. Where you needed to go, regardless of what the money was Top Rank.
Hasn't Peter Berg done like a documentary for ESPN? Like, doesn't he still have connection to that fucking network? And bring him to Top Rank, like, because that's where most of the action is.
I mean, honestly, it's like I don't understand how. Remember, last year, Josh Taylor was still the undisputed champion. So, if you planning on fighting at 140, you need to go where them belts is at because that's where the fights is at, right? Like ideally because you a free agent, you ain't with nobody. You should have went to Top Rank. If you didn't go to Top Rank, it's like you didn't have to go to Top Rank. But you didn't help yourself either because you see what Terrence Crawford's been going through. You see the sides of the street shit gets worse and worse and worse every fucking year. So if it was your goal to get at a belt, why would you go where the belts ain't at? You gonna go to these guys at Pro Bellum that the biggest name they had at the time was Nonito Donaire. Hey, homie, it is what it is. I want to see him have more fights, but it's like, yo, dog, you 33. You've been fighting once a year for the last 2 years, maybe 3. What we supposed to say?
I just want to say
you got people crying about it's racism. Like, come on, man. Like, you've been inactive.
That bullshit,
and you got 12,
bro.
you got 2 other fighters right ahead of you. And it's not like you're far away from.
I've been watching them ranks. I've been watching them ranks.
Sorry. It's just like you just got to be with the right people, man. Like, I don't know, man.
I've been watching them ranks. He was never in line to fight for no belt. So it's like that's when you see, and that kind of goes back to the Shakur thing, that you got guys that they use, and I don't like to appear unsympathetic towards real issues. The problem is you're using a real issue in an unreal way. Regis wasn't shortchanged. He was never in line. What the fuck do you want me to say? He's been fighting once a year for the last 2-3 years against nobodies. He fought in an eliminator last time, not a final eliminator, an eliminator. It moved him up the WBC's ranks, but it didn't make it mandatory. McKenna, come on, fam.
That's what the Zepeda. Sorry, not the Pedraza Ramirez fight. That was a title. That was a title eliminator. That's what that was.
Bingo.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to be that guy, once again, which is why I stress this, if you knew that Josh Taylor has all the belts, and you know that Top Rank has a whole lot of guys, they ain't got all the guys, they ain't got Subriel Matias, but who the fuck needs him, right? You trying to get at the belts. You know where you needed to go. You know where you needed to go, and you didn't go there. You went with Pro. All right then, bro. Like you did that. Nobody did that to you.
You
did that.
Remember when we talked about how Josh's relationship with Top Rank might be in shambles, and he might go to Pro Bellum because allegedly Pro Bellum is an MTK outfit, promotional outfit. Maybe he was hoping that would happen, but until up until that shit happened with the U.S. government Treasury Department saying that they're gonna looking for Daniel Callahan to extract him, extradite from Dubai.
People are getting confused about is Pro Bellum as an outfit, right? This is what they're doing. Pro Bellum as an outfit was not sanctioned by the U.S. government. They weren't, right? That's one. People keep jumping to the conclusion because we all know underneath it all that we know how it looks, and maybe we're right. But on paper, they're not sanctioned by the U.S. government. Now, what the U.S. government did that was very slick, they probably looked at that MTK list of fighters. None of y'all can enter this country to do business. If you want a vacation here, like Tommy Fury did a couple of weeks ago, if you want a vacation, okay. But if you try to come here to fight, it's a wrap.
Yeah.
No business for y'all, right? So that's what's affecting Josh. But even with that, your manager's supposed to know this. You're a fighter. You're not. I don't expect the fighter to be hip to everything and connect the dots, but I do expect the manager to do that. And you have known because I've known, and if I know, you should know. Top Rank's broadcast partner in the UK is who?
BT.
No.
Sky.
Sports.
You are getting up
Who's that?
Today.
That ain't me.
It's not me.
Who mic is that? All right. If this is a matter of public record that they in bed with Sky, and you know that Josh is a UK fighter, connect the fucking dots, fam. He's not gonna be fighting in America, even without the sanctions, even without everything that was going on. Where was his last fight?
UK.
In the UK.
It's like he wasn't gonna come back here anyway. Like, really, it didn't look like he was gonna come back here. Maybe they would have tried to do the Zapata fight in America because, well, Zapata, he can probably do okay in America. Okay, I'm not even saying like he a big ticket seller because I don't know about all that. He went to New York for Josue Vargas, so what does that tell you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it kind of looked like moving forward. That's where he was going to be anyway in the UK. Sanction and no sanction, no fly list, whatever. It looked like that's where he was going to be at anyway because of Sky. You got a Scottish fighter, right? You're not going to turn him into a star over here unless he go in there with a kilt and a sword. And I am William. I'm the Josh Taylor of the Taylor clan and the Taylor clan of McLeod of the Cloud. There ain't nobody like how Americans are. Like, he wasn't going to pop over here. So it's like, well, why would he be fighting in America when Top Rank got to deal with Scott to where he could fight in front of his own folk and people that are more interested in what he's doing? It makes sense.
Well, and you got to remember it. And you got to remember, he also had to become an undisputed champion by knocking down a guy twice in a fight just to win a card.
Yep.
Basics.
Yep.
At this point, Top Rank is more like
at
this point, Top Rank is more like a distributor of Josh Taylor fights and then just a promoter.
Look at Inouye. He did the Jason Maloney fight. The I think I forgot the name of the guy.
Diazepam, something like that.
Some shit, right? Those was his 2 fights at Top Rank. His very next fight, he was on a flight to Japan, and it wasn't even a Donaire fight. It was that kickboxer that crossed over into boxing. He fought that guy in Japan. The fight after that,
the Depien guy or whatever.
The DHP. He fought the DHP guy, knocked his ass out. Donaire also in Japan. So it's like Top Rank. I ain't knocking him, but it's just like, look, you didn't turn Inoue into a star. You didn't. You didn't turn Josh Taylor into a star.
I mean, if he didn't win the World Boxing Super Series, would Bob Arum even have signed him?
I don't think so.
See?
Yeah. Well, and wasn't Inoue's last fight before Donaire on a different network? Like, wasn't Casemiro the one illegally streaming it so people could actually see it?
Yes. It wasn't on ESPN.
Yeah, I remember.
So I mean, really, like, I ain't knocking Top Rank. It's not knocking them, but it's an objective statement that Inoue's short tenure here in America on ESPN did nothing for his value. Josh Taylor, yeah, he became undisputed over here, but you didn't turn him into a star. You didn't.
Josh Taylor lost the World Boxing Super Series. Would Bob have signed him?
No. Back to what Julie just paid on the channel for about a year. Top Rank really doesn't want to work harder to make more money or make their fighters bigger. They don't want to work harder than what they're doing.
They don't.
And like I said last time, I mean, they got the rights to the highlights. That grows their profile. It looks good for them, but it does nothing for Inoue.
No, honestly. Now, I want to talk about Artur Beterbiev versus Bender from Cyborg. Who's seen Cyborg?
Damn, yo. That's a long time.
I like this world. I'm going to start with Yo, it's me. Yo, do you feel that Anthony Yarde will do somewhat better than Joe Smith Jr. did?
I think he saw the Joe Smith Jr. fight, and I think he'll play more tactical. I think he'll rely on his boxing, but I think Beterbiev will get the job done. I think in the 7th round.
So you think he will last a little longer than Joe did? You think that at least?
Yeah, I think he saw the Joe Smith Jr. fight, and I think he'll play more tactical pretty much.
Jay, does Artur have anything to worry about in Bender?
Oh, no, not at all. I think he's going to probably last a little longer than Joe, but Artur is going to do what he does. He's just going to break down the will and the tenacity of Anthony. And, and that's his third professional loss. He's had a good run. It's been fun, but, yeah, I just see Artur doing what he does. He started breaking Anthony down and stopping him. He may last a little longer than Joe, because I think Joe just had the wrong game plan going in. I don't know what he was thinking, trying to go toe-to-toe with this man. But, yeah, just nice knowing you, Anthony. Anyway, moving on.
Country, Anthony Yarde, Lions in the Camp, Tunde Yahi, all that bullshit. Do you like it? Oh, shit. Country dropped out. Leo, how do you see this fight going?
I think Anthony just has had a decent career. I hope he's okay after this fight.
Amen.
I wish him the best. I don't know what he's gonna do after this fight, really, because it's gonna be ugly. I don't think it's gonna be long. I don't think if he lasts 3 more rounds than Joe Smith Jr., I will be impressed, because that style of boxing that Anthony Yarde has is not gonna be any good.
Well, I look at his style, and this is gonna sound funny. I look at his style as a composite of cliches. The shoulder roll, the swivel. To me, it's not put together. Anthony has a respectable punch, but I've never thought he has a respectable corner. I do think he's a good physical specimen. For him to have done as well as he did with Kovalev, I think that speaks to what he could be, but it ended the way that it ended. And I've never liked this corner situation. So I do have him getting knocked out. The $1 million question, Virtuoso, do you think he's going to last longer than Joe?
What round did Joe got knocked down?
Wasn't it the second round? Was it the second
Yeah,
round?
the second round.
That's right.
You know what? I think he
Bar's
can
pretty
last
low.
longer. I think he can last longer than that. I think he'll be a lot smarter knowing what he saw from that fight. But he's, the thing is his gas tank. I don't think he's gonna go the distance for sure. I mean, you're not gonna go 12 round doing all that pretty shit like trying to, flash a jab and throw a shoulder roll and then occasionally throw a fucking power hand, power shot. Nah, that dude's gonna come straight at you, man, and it's gonna be up to you to decide what the fuck you're gonna do. I don't think he has that much of an idea to offset that pressure of his of Beterbiev. I don't see it happening.
Hey, Jules.
Yo.
I give him no more than what Joe Smith did, or even quicker, because Kovalev knocked his ass out with
but
a
he's
jab.
not going to come right at him. The thing is, right, this is the thing, Country. He's not going to charge him the way that Joe charged him. I think we can all agree that because Joe charged him, that made the knockout happen faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Anthony doing that. And because he's not going to do that, do you think that he'll last longer than Joe?
If he's running away, yeah. But I give him no more than 4 or 5 rounds in that case. He'll get caught and then lights out.
Julio, how do you see that fight?
Whoopi Goldberg's gonna last longer than Joe Smith will, but because he's athletic enough. Like I think that, as you pointed out, he is an athletic specimen, but he does carry a lot of muscle, and I think he's gonna try to box, and then he's gonna realize that Beterbiev's a lot better boxer than people give him credit for, and I think the same thing's gonna happen. He's just gonna stop him in the 7th or 8th round.
Willie, different question. Did you expect more from Joe?
Honestly, yes, I did. I honestly thought that his jab would be more effective. It was my mistake because I didn't take into account, even though Beterbiev is an older fighter, he is far more skilled than Smith. So when he was controlling the range and the distance, I was actually getting kind of scared because, Beterbiev, when he was chasing Pascal around the ring, the last time I seen him out, he didn't look nearly as impressive. So in my personal opinion, Yard, unless he's got the skill of James Toney and the heart, he ain't got no business being in the same ring with Beterbiev. Like, there's no way. He's going to try. Beterbiev has the hand speed to keep that pressure consistent on Yard no matter what he does. Yeah, he could throw that cute little shoulder roll, but that ain't going to do nothing because Beterbiev is a master of controlling the range.
Beterbiev's got a mean uppercut, and you figure that uppercut with that power. Oh,
well, one thing about Beterbiev that I like is it's not that he has fast hands, because he doesn't. It's because he shoots from the hip. It appears fast. It's a straight punch. When you look at his jab, it's like he shoots from it's a straight punch. It gets from point A to point B, and it seems quick, but it's because he doesn't load it. Why doesn't he load it? Because he doesn't have to. He hits like a fucking train. He's a guy that never has to load a punch. So that half a second or that millisecond that most other boxers might waste loading up a punch, he don't got to do that. He could sneeze at you and knock you out. Base, how do you see this going for Anthony?
Not very well.
Why is that?
He's not ready for this level of competition.
Then why is he doing this?
Because him and his team are idiots.
Lions in the camp.
Oh. You know what, Biggs? That's a great, honest answer. Thank you.
Let me take that back. He's not an idiot. His team are idiots. He's been mismanaged since day one. And the thing is, they're making the exact same mistake they done the last time. You fought nobody, got nothing out of any of the fights you fought, went up to world level, got beat, came back down to domestic level, to poor domestic level, beat up a super welterweight in Spain just to get your win back. Then
oh my God, I forgot about that. They sent him to Spain. I forgot about that.
That guy was a super welterweight?
Yeah, he was a super welterweight, but went up to 175.
Lyndon Arthur?
Lyndon Arthur beat him with the jab, just with the jab.
Yeah, that's Arthur. No, there was a guy when after he lost to Kovalev to get his win back, they sent him to Spain against a super welterweight that came up to 175. Then he fought Dex Spellman after Lyndon Arthur fought him like 5 weeks earlier to get a knockout there. Then lost to
that was
Arthur.
bullshit. I thought that
Then
was
lost.
bullshit.
Then won the rematch. But he's currently the Commonwealth champion, right? Commonwealth is below British. So your best win is against a Commonwealth champion, and now you're going straight back up to world level again. Like, have you learned nothing?
No, what you should be asking is Frank senile?
Well, I mean, I think because if you think about this as a play, the most that Frank, I guess, and I'm guessing, I don't even know, but the most that Frank can get out of this is a championship fight to put on BT. That it satisfies perhaps what his broadcast partners might want, even if it comes at the sacrifice of Anthony Yard, who, like Bay said very eloquently, he is not ready for. Like, you're not ready for this, bro. And I don't want to. I don't want to poke the bear, but I don't want, because this is boxing and things happen, and sometimes there are things that you don't expect. But just looking at it, I'm like, bro, how could he be ready for this? How? Your best win is Lyndon Arthur.
Okay, he's not, man.
Okay, let me say this.
See,
He's
fight with Buwachi. All right.
Quick, said, is it going to last longer? It will last longer, Jules, but it's going to be a more vicious, violent beating and knockout than what Joe got.
I agree with that, because I don't think Joe got it as bad as Marcus Brown, because that was a systematic beating that you getting hit with hard shots round after round, and we know that those are the kinds of beatings, sustained beatings, that stay with you for a long time, because you've been fighting for 3 minutes at a time, more than once, whereas Joe, right out of there 2 rounds, and he's back in Long Island eating pizza. But if it goes long, you got the heaviest hands in this whole division pummeling you for more than 2 rounds. Yes, that's not gonna that's not good.
I mean, honestly, like Marcus Brown, Marcus Brown is probably never going to be the same again.
My question is, because of the outfit that Marcus is affiliated with, there are no belts over there to fight for. There's nobody over there, not even John Pascal, so you can't do a rematch with him because he's at Pro Box. That's where he fought Meng Fang Long, or Fang Long Meng, or however you say that shit. All right? Are you going to retire?
Bostic did.
That's true. That's true.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, he's going to be guaranteed a trip to the hospital, man. That's about it.
Jay,
yo,
wait. Jay, on the heels, on the undercard of Bam Rodriguez versus Sorung Visai, we saw Chicago's own Jessica McCaskill against Alma Ibarra. Were you aware that on the heels of that beating, Alma decided to retire?
No, I was not. She retired? Oh shit! No, this is the first time hearing of this. You're not bullshitting. She retired.
No, she retired.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, I was aware of that.
Oh, I did not know. Wow.
Base, I wasn't either.
Base, did she quit?
It, Jules.
100%.
Do you feel that she quit? Do you?
Yes,
feel
100%.
All right. I wanted to see if I was the only one that felt that, you copped out. You did quit. I saw Rick Ramos, who's a very nice guy. He's a very nice person. He took to social media and he stated, no, she didn't quit. But look, just outside looking in that realm, or just what is associated or what is thought of as quitting, it looked like she quit. And she quit the sport. How hard does Jessica McCaskill hit that naturally bigger fighters are quitting the sport? Shout out to Jessica.
What I will say though, and I need to, because I read this somewhere that apparently, I'm not sure if it was this year or sometime recent, she got kidnapped for something. Obviously, her family had to pay ransom for her.
Yeah.
So could it possibly be a case where someone was like, well, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then your family's in danger? Because remember, she kept saying, "Oh, I need to get back to my kid who's ill or whatnot."
I'll tell you about that. That was her Olympic qualifier match. That was many years ago. That wasn't recent. And
I heard it was a new one. That's
no, that was that story's supposed to be in reference to the either the day before or the day after she qualified for the Olympics, which was some years ago.
That was not being funny.
That's so funny, David. It's in the bubble wrap.
Jules, you gotta put that on a t-shirt, man. You gotta put that on a shirt and start selling the shit.
Oompa.
That is the funniest shit you
gotta wear it.
ever made.
But I wanted to ask Leo. About this. Leo is very wise. He's very wise. He's a little bit clairvoyant. How do you see a fight like this going, Leo? Two southpaws. They're both young. One's younger than the other. But just how do you see a fight like this?
See Gervonta Davis sitting on his table.
That's it. The one and only.
Yeah. And Shakur Stevenson will go to the board. I start explaining Gervonta Davis how to box. Like 12 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Michael. Hold on.
Trinket belt.
I saw Michael Benson tweet about this fight, and I forgot who it was. I think it was Midwest, and shout out to Midwest. He said something that I say here all the time, that Gervonta Davis, no bullshit, no trolling, he's a counterpuncher. That's what he's good at, and that's how he's getting these guys out of there. But against a pure boxer, you don't have any countering opportunities. There's nothing to counter. So you're going to be lost in the sauce, and he's going to pot shot you one shot at a time, to the most, from the outside, using his length, using his speed, and that'll be the story of the fight. And then I saw this guy. I think he responded to Midwest. He came up with this fucking word sandwich of bullshit. Gervonta Davis probes you, and he takes away your best weapon. I'm like, bro, what? And I didn't respond. I didn't, because I'm like, I'm not going to argue with this fucking guy. I don't even want to be a part of this.
Being that he sounds like that, he probably likes getting probed.
No, I could just hear the voice in his mind and the outrage, because Midwest, he put it concisely that Gervonta Davis is a counterpuncher. Shakur is a pure boxer. Pure boxer don't give you no opportunity to counter. So he's going to win a points decision. He kept it sweet, simple, short and simple, right? And the guy, he comes up with this paragraph of just like, bro, what fights are you? What are you talking about, bro? Who jab he took? Like, what are you talking about? What fight are you watching, fam? Did he take away Isaac Cruz's jab? Because he's a jabber. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, man?
I mean, it's funny. Not just Shakur. The same thing with Devin too. I believe if he fights Devin, if he can't land anything big on Devin, the same thing happens again. Devin is just gonna outpoint him.
The only thing that makes a Devin fight a closer fight is because, obviously we wonder about his punch resistance and whether or not he's been at 135 too long. These are things we wonder about, but that's it. Pure boxer, you can't. It's hard to. You can't counter a pure boxer. You got to drill him the way that Jarrett Hurd kept the pressure on Erislandy Lara. Mm-hmm. That's what you have to do. You have to do that. It can't just be, you looking for a counter to hit him with one hard shot. That ain't gonna happen, fam. It's not gonna happen.
And Julius, I know this is a lot of famous people's favorite boxer, but let's be real. Like, Devin has a very educated jab. So does Shakur. Shakur is more angular, in my opinion. He likes to use angles more than Devin. Devin's more of an inside-outside. He'll come in, throw a bunch of punches to go back to the outside, use his jab to control range. Like, how is a counterpuncher supposed to get past that? He hasn't really shown much ability with pure boxers that I've seen anyway.
You see what Rolly's look? Watch the first couple of rounds of the Romero fight. Rolly's jab was giving this kid fits. And I'm not saying that to be funny. I'm fucking serious. Because Rolly was jabbing, and because he's a little taller and a little longer than Gervonta was struggling with the range. He couldn't get within striking distance. He couldn't, because he tried for a lot of shots and they didn't hit nothing. That's how you know he was struggling. When you see the guy lunge and try for a shot or try for a counter and he don't hit the guy with it or it don't land clean, all right, you struggling with the range. The only saving grace for Gervonta between Devin as opposed to Shakur is that Devin is an orthodox fighter, so he leads with his left, and so long as Gervonta moves to his right, he'll stay on the outside of the jab. You can't even do that with Shakur because he's a fucking southpaw. You have no advantages. You are at every disadvantage. He is taller than you. He is longer than you. At minimum, he's just as fast as you are, and he's a southpaw.
So what that means is that he's gonna be there. He's gonna be getting on first all night long.
Pretty much. And he has a way better jab than Rolly fucking Romero, for God's sake. He's a fucking Olympian.
That graphic from, man, that is too funny, man.
That's the New Jersey skyline, by the way, for those that don't know.
And
no,
be
I'm
honest.
talking about the bubble wrap. I'm talking about the bubble wrap.
but not, man. Be honest. Do you see either Shakur or Devin knocking out Tank with his big ass head, man? I remember you said that during the fight. Like, he got that big head. Well,
he has a big little. He's a little man with a very big face. His face is big, dog.
He's like midget in New Jersey Drive. His head.
He has a big fucking head, bro.
He has the Mikey Garcia gene.
But more importantly, just boxing related and just related to the boxing, that is probably the worst style matchup that you could put Gervonta in, which is how you know it won't happen. It won't happen.
Yeah, they never will. They'll never put him in with someone.
I'm not going to put him in there with nobody how many pure boxers? Look, Floyd fought every style, you know, and a lot of the top guys, Manny, Oscar, Felix, fucking Gennady faced more styles than Gervonta, even though his resume is thin, but he has faced more styles. They know who they're picking for Gervonta, you know, and they would never put him in there with a guy like this. Hell no. Give him fits.
And common sense says that the brawler and, you know, the come forward pressure fighter are perfect for the counterpuncher. Like,
exactly.
all they got to do is time them.
Exactly. Isaac Cruz, they didn't land on that guy by accident. They didn't. And what's even worse is you found out in that fight, which is why I'm on the fence about Gervonta Davis's power, and I always have been. I don't know if you're as big a puncher as they say you are. You had a guy who's giving you every countering opportunity you need, and when you hit him, you broke your hand. You didn't break his face. You broke your hand. So I'm like, I don't know, B. I don't know about this guy, man. That's all I'm saying. I don't know about this guy. Just forget the promotional shit that we always talk about and just forget.
You know, my theory on why he broke his hand and why Errol Spence could have knocked out Mikey Garcia is because the Mexican fighters have dense skulls.
Yeah.
Well, they do have pressure. A lot of the famous fighters are pressure fighters, and, you know, they'll take 3-4 punches to land one. So
he's from Isaac, and I've said this. He's from a high altitude part of Mexico, Mexico City. A lot of the fighters that hail from Mexico City, male or female, you'll notice that a lot of them are pressure fighters. The reason for this is because they have the gas tank to be that fighter. You have to have certain attributes to have certain base styles. If you're going to be a pressure fighter, you can't be a pressure fighter with a shitty gas tank.
You'd have a good engine.
Your fucking career's over, bro.
Them Chilangos from Mexico City are tough, man.
That's what Sulem said to Shilo. Chilango, they tough as fucking nails, man. She's the one that put me on.
Oh, you know why too, Jules? Not just the fucking altitude, but the smog and the air quality is fucking trash. Yeah, so when they come to the States, the air quality is much better and regular elevation. They're ready to go.
It's kind of like the thing in Krypton. You know, the Krypton's gravity is stronger than Earth's, so they can't fly on Krypton. But when they come to Earth, oh, you better watch out. They'll fuck you up.
Who's Cruz gonna fight next?
He's fighting who's this guy? Who's he fighting? He's fighting on the undercard of Ruiz versus Ortiz. I forgot against who, but he is fighting.
I just want to say thank you to Salem Urbina for breaking the internet again the other day. Appreciate that.
She always does
Did it for a good cause, yo. She's a hell of a lady. Did it for a good cause,
Good cause, hell of a lady. You can't say nothing bad about that woman.
Nah, man. If you got something against Sulem, that's because something wrong with you. Because she get along with everybody. So you know what I mean? Like I don't really know what the fuck. She literally get along with everybody. So I don't know. Motherfuckers got issues out here. I ain't gonna say no names or nothing. But
apparently,
I didn't say shit, country. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean.
Hey, Jules,
I didn't say shit.
Jules, I don't know if you want to save this for an episode of the relay, but I peeped it on your Twitter today. Like, what's this? Is Mayor Bumgarner now for Undisputed?
No, it's not for Undisputed. They corrected it. It must have been a mistake because
okay.
Yeah, somebody tagged me to another screenshot, and they showed that the WBA was not on it, Even though shout out to whatchamacallit, because what he said, it kind of looked like that was possible. Remember when Clarissa first went to 54? That they just popped up out of nowhere with a WBA super, even though there was already a WBA champion.
Got you. Okay. I was about to have a heart attack. 2 undisputed fights.
No, I ain't mad. Look, if they would have did that, I wouldn't have been mad because I'm like, look, Choi fucking around. Like, you fucking around, fam. You hiding out over there.
She don't want to unify.
You don't want to do shit. Like Michaela said,
she's staying all the way in the Far East, man, taking pictures on Instagram.
Real shit. She putting fucking Kool-Aid packets in her hair. She ain't trying to fight nobody, man. Like, so if they would have did it, I know it would have been kind of wrong. But I would have been okay with it. Like, man, you ain't trying to do shit out here, B.
Kind of like Casemiro. It's like he don't want to fight Donero or Noe. You know what I mean?
Well, this the thing. That situation is more sorted. I don't like Casemiro as a human being, and I have to say that, though. The onus as to why things worked out the way they did for him, it's Sean Gibbons, bro. If it really, like, you bumbled the shit out of that, bro. You talking shit to Donaire. You talking shit to his wife. You ain't filed the paperwork knowing that he's a fucking stickler for anti-doping, and you don't file the paperwork in time. You play dumb on social media. Like, you don't know the difference between contracting VADA for a fight and being in the clean boxing pro. That's not the same thing. You in the clean boxing program is your fucking business. I got this paperwork right here for you for this fight, all right? This fight that we about to have. That's what I'm talking about. And you over here playing dumb. Like, nobody got time for that shit when you could go fight Inoue and get more money anyway. And he did. Well, he got his ass beat, but
didn't Donaire help him get his last fight, which he fumbled the ball with?
But that was after they fucked everything up.
Yep.
That was after because Paul Butler is a pro bellum fighter. Nonito Donaire is a pro bellum fighter. They situated him, or he was situated with Aegis Climax, and his relationship with Sean, it was already strained, which is why there were issues. It was already strained. All of that was deaded. And, Casemiro, which is why I can't play him the violin too much. You did that dumb shit, bro. You used the sauna over there, because we know you kill yourself to make bantamweight. You want to sweat the shit out, and you ain't supposed to do that over there. You should have stayed in America, used the sauna in America, and then you fly out there and do all that bullshit.
Well, it's interesting, though. Jason Maloney is eyed for a WBO mandatory. So
Yeah. But Inoue himself said that October is when they want to do the Butler fight. As long as Butler doesn't fuck it up. See, this is the situation, and let me remind you, because I said this the day after the fight. Paul Butler better take his ass beating from Inoue, because at least you'll get more money getting the shit beaten out of you by Inoue, and it'll be quicker than what Jason Maloney has for you. Jason is going to beat you. He is.
Yeah, he's been looking good lately.
Looking good. He's been looking good. That last fight that he had on the undercard of Haney versus Kambosos, shish kebab, whatever. He beat the shit out Palikte. Palikte ain't no bitch.
But it would be so ironic if Inoue fought him again, because you remember the last time he fought him, he ended him in 3.
I mean, look, he fought Donaire again for another belt. Maybe he'll fight Maloney if you get a belt. All right, Maloney, you want to run it back? Let's run it back.
Is Maloney ran by the WBO?
Maloney's a top-ranked fighter, so he's in good with the WBO. And Bob likes him. After the Palikte knockout, he ran to Bob, and Bob gave him the Godfather kiss. Like Bob loves the Maloney brothers. I don't know why, but he loves them, and they love him. So
they are hard workers. I mean, I thought Maloney was done after the the Inoue fight. Man, that was a bad knockout.
It was a bad knockout, but he knew he's a bad motherfucker. Like, it's like, look, only Inoue, and I feel this way, only Inoue could have done that to Donaire. Only Inoue. At bantamweight, I'd go with Donaire to beat Casemiro. I'd go with Donaire to beat both the Maloney brothers. Both of them.
And you know what?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've had time to think about it, and I know I was talking a lot of trash about Bam beating Inoue, but I say that, and then I look at him again, and I'm like, I don't know. He's definitely some kind of monster, man.
And I'm big on Bam, like, more than anybody. We need to pump the brakes on that. Bam is at least I don't know why people are bringing that up though, Jules.
He ain't ready for that yet. He ain't ready for that yet.
He's still a baby.
It's more like, yo, you talking about a dude that is on his way out of 118 to a dude who just arrived at 115 who's set to go back down. Sonny Edwards wants the problems. You also have Artem Delakian down there, WBA champion. Sonny's the IBF. Junto's got the WBO. And who's got the BC down there? Who got the BC down there?
Julio Cesar Martinez.
Martinez, right. His problematic ass. That dude got too many problems, bro. I liked him, but how you pull out the same fight 3 times, fam? How does
something's going on?
What the fuck? Like you nervous or something about McWilliams McDonald's or McWilliams Arroyo? Like, why you keep pulling out on this guy, fam?
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't want to fight McWilliams Arroz con Pollo, but you gotta
Who's your fighter of the year right now, Jules?
I'd say it's Bam until something happens.
Julius,
Bam.
Una preguntita. Julius, how Junto got the WBO?
I think he won it when it was vacant.
Okay. Because
remember, Kosei Tanaka moved up to Superfly to take on Kazuto. That was at the end of 2020. It was vacant. Junto must have been right behind him.
Okay.
And for those that don't know, Kosei, he's now at Superfly. I believe he's at Superfly. He's with Ismael Salas, which is good because Ismael's the guy who got Kazuto. He helped make Kazuto who he is. And Kazuto beat the shit out of you. So you did the right thing. Ismael Salas with the big shoes. But that's more or less, that's how that would have had to happen, because before Kosei had the WBO at Fly. He moved up for Kazuto, got the shit beat out of him. Title stayed vacant. Junto snatched it up.
Hey, Julius, I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
When was the last time we had a year like 2022 with this much amazing boxing?
20 was it? There was 1 year. There was 1 year where it was on fire, and it wasn't better than this though. But it was. Was it 2017 or 2018?
2017.
I think it was 27. Wasn't it 2017?
Yeah, I think so.
That's the year we got Joshua versus Klitschko. That's the year we got Canelo versus Golovkin. That was a big year, but that year wasn't bigger and better than this one. This year is madness. Like this year, for the most part, like I know we complain a lot about things that aren't happening, but the things that are happening are great. Charlo versus Castaño 2 was great. Joshua versus Usyk 2, win or lose, it's gonna be you got to be there. You got to see it.
Taylor Serrano was great.
Taylor Serrano, that was great. You know what I mean? We got Alicia Gardner, Mikaela Mayer, Clarissa Shields. Imagine if Savannah knocked out Clarissa, bro.
Imagine if Triple G knock out Canelo.
Bro.
I'm pulling for Triple G anyway, even though he's gonna lose.
I've been I gotta say, I've been truly blessed as a boxing fan this year, man.
It's been a good year. It's been a good year.
Like how much potential fights we have in this year too? I think we have like 5 undisputed potential fights in this year too. So
yeah, I mean, because there's still Inouye versus Paul Butler in October. That's an undisputed fight. There's still I hope that Fulton's not fucking around. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, even though I have no reason to. Because look, bro, you're a PBC guy. Either you're gonna tell Stefan to make him an offer and bring him over. Either you're gonna do that and Stefan's gonna make the offer, or you're gonna cross the street. There's only 2 ways it happens. Either you go to him or he goes to you. And we'll see, bro. And we'll see.
I'm sorry, I'm not confident. I'm sorry.
You don't believe it?
I'm not confident that the fight's going to get made. I just don't. I mean, like the PBCs, they fumbled the bag too many. They dropped the ball too many times on shit like this. They really. I mean,
you ain't wrong.
Would this be a record? Wouldn't this be a record year for undisputed fights happening back to back?
No, I think 2021 had the most undisputed fights. I think it was 3.
Yeah,
we have. All right, so we got. Let's run down the shit. You know, we got Castaño versus Charlo. That's 1.
Yeah.
And Kambosos versus Haney. That's 2. If Inouye does fight Paul Butler, that's 3. Crawford and Spence. that would make 4. If Artur, but I'm not holding my fucking breath. If Artur were to fight Bivol, that's 5.
The winner of Usyk versus Joshua and Fury is
That's 6.
And actually, and honorable mention is Triple G Canelo. That's still an undisputed fight. No matter how you look at it.
Yeah, but it's not making like that's an undisputed defense. If Fulton fights Akhmadaliev, that's 7. That would.
What about Franchon Cruz?
Rematch this year.
I was going to say, man, what about Franchon Cruz?
Oh yeah, right, that yo, it's
don't forget Marshall
that was an undisputed fight.
It's a month of the year, man. It's like I don't see all those fights being squeezed in, in the latter half of the year. But like, I could only hope, man, I get half of that.
Well,
it's already been a very good year. I really want to know who is Bam gonna fight next. Who is Bam gonna fight next? They might try to make the gentle. Who Mike is that, fam?
Not me.
That's me.
They might make the gentle. They might make the gentle fight because Julio got to fight McWilliams Arroyo. Ain't no getting around that shit. That's his mandatory. Ain't no getting around that shit. And
I want him to fight Sonny Edwards. I want him to beat the brakes off of him, Capricorn or not.
Listen, Sonny talking about unifying, so he can't be talking about fighting Bam. He can't be.
Yeah, but he could fight him just to say that he's a two-weight champ.
Boxing UK, they did an interview with Sonny real recent, and Sonny been saying that they talking about unification matches right now, and we know Bam don't got no belt at flyweight. The belt he got is at superfly. So if you talking about,
but that's two-weight world champ, so he'll still take it because it makes him a two-weight champ. He can still unify afterwards, and it's the most money he's going to get.
I think he about to fight Artem Dalakian, bro. You heard it here first. That's who I think he about to fight. He ain't about to fight Julio because Julio got to fight McDonald's. I don't think for a second Sonny about to fight Gento. So who's the only other champion at fly? Artem Dalakian.
Well, Jules, how do you like his chances against Bam?
I'm gonna be real with you, Sonny's better than people think he is.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying that to be nice, but let me tell you this. This is why Bam versus Sonny is not. I don't think of it as a whitewash because Sonny not gonna come forward. Sonny gonna use the ring. Sonny gonna move around. So a lot of the shit that you hit Saw with is different, fam. Saw coming forward trying to hit you. Sonny moving away and pot shotting. It's a different fight. So the pressure gonna have to come from Bam. Now, do I think Bam could hurt him? Yeah, man. Look at what the fuck he just did to Saw. But you got to catch him, and that's what makes it different. You got to catch him because he's not coming
off the ring.
But but the thing is, they've got very similar ring IQs. They've got, if anything, Bam's actually the quicker of the two because he came from the lower weight. He's got much more power. So when you look at it, he's basically got everything Sonny's got, plus he's got the power to take him up. He can move around.
Look at the fight. Yeah, Bam got power. Sonny got an engine. He did the same shit to Mitterlane for 12 rounds. So you know he got an engine. At minimum, you know if he got to move for 12 and stay on the balls of his feet, he gonna move for 12. And I know Mitterlane was a little bit old. I dig it. I'm just saying that it's not a whitewash. Like in other words, I don't think he gonna go in there first round. He gonna knock Sonny. Nah, I think he gonna have to work for the punches. Not because Sonny hit hard, but because he moving lateral. He gonna stay on the perimeter of the ring, move lateral. A lot of that shit that you hit Quadras with, a lot of that shit you hit Saw with. It's them same punches is not going to be there because this guy's moving in the other direction. So it's a different fight. I'm not saying Bam loses. I'm just saying, like, I favor Bam to win, but it is a different fight.
I ain't gonna lie, because I've been watching a lot of Sonny myself. He's slick as an MF, man. He really is.
He's slick. like I'm not like I ain't saying no freak shit. I'm just saying that they fight different, man. Saw is a pressure guy. Like he want to be in the pocket with you. He coming to you. Sonny moving away.
Yo, I want to see that. I want to see that fight.
Get your mics, people.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to see that fight because they have the best footwork in that division.
They both do, yeah. So
What,
it's
what impresses me the most about Sonny is that he's a high energy person naturally. Like you'd swear this kid was ADHD with how energetic he is.
He's a Capricorn.
Were you that energetic as a kid?
Not to the eye. I'll say that.
Gotcha.
My energy, like for example, when I was very young, when I was a child, very young, I had stacks of notebooks full of drawings. Stacks. That's the energy that I had. Like I had stacks of notebooks where I would just draw. Or the energy I might put into a project when I learned how to make beats. I would do that shit for hours without eating. So he's I'm telling you, he's Capricorn, man.
Wasn't Leonardo da Vinci a Capricorn as well?
I believe he was.
Well, there you go.
There it is. You know what I'm saying? Special motherfuckers. We don't come from your planet. Like, I know y'all think that, but we really don't come from around here. Base is not from here. Base is from Saturn.
Jules, nice group.
That's very true, but actually, that's the point, Jules. Sorry, one second. Jules, do you, of recent, hold Capricorns to a different standard than others? Because I've noticed that you seem to be rather harsh on some of your Capricorn compatriots, and I know
what they're doing. When Maris Breedis makes a decision to take on Jay Opataya when he could unify with Lawrence, I know why you did that. I know what you were thinking. You don't like that fight with Lawrence. People can say what the fuck they want. That's not an easy night. And that man hit hard. 6'4", long arms. He'll tie you up and wear you out. And you chose Jay because you like your chances with Jay better than you like your chances with Lawrence. You broke the code. Did some whole shit. Going there wearing a fucking Mario suit. That's breaking the code. Like, bro, what are you doing?
That was ridiculous, man.
What are you doing, bro?
No fighter has ever done that.
See, as soon as he lost the mic, see, that's what happens when you spend too much time fixated on YouTubers and not other fighters in your division.
You know what I'm saying? He broke the code, base, and you need to hold him accountable.
I think it needs to just be a lesson of inactivity, man. Like these fighters, they only do what, once, twice a year at most. And some of these guys ain't even champions. And it's like, what the hell are you doing with your career, guys?
Maris fought, I believe, last year in October. That was his last fight, before the Jai Opataya fight, which ended up getting postponed because Jay got injured. It was supposed to have actually happened sooner, but better still, you had from October, November, December, January. Your promoter called out Lawrence Okolie immediately after your last fight, and you fucking shattered. You didn't want that fight. They didn't want that. And then recently, after Richard Riakporhe knocked out that guy, what y'all talking about? A Richard Riakporhe fight. Wait a minute. How y'all talking about, we'll go fight Riakporhe after we take care of business in Australia? I got the tweets. Bro, I see you ducked Lawrence, fam. You ducked him.
Could you say this was a cherry pick gone wrong?
We can't say it was a pick because he didn't pick him. You know what I mean? That was his mandatory, so right. He did have to fight him, but you chose the lesser. But it's kind of like you chose because, bro, you wasn't trying to fight Lawrence. You didn't petition the IBF to let you go fight Lawrence. You didn't want that, so you could kind of call it that, though. Kind of.
You could call it looking at the moon while missing the glory of the stars. Like he was too nearsighted. He couldn't see the future. Like what happens if you lose, bro? And you're not even in the gym as often as you should be. You're too busy chasing YouTubers. Like what the hell?
And what kind of shit is it to where you have all this energy? Everything you do communicates something about you and your character. So what does it communicate about you and your character that you're spending this amount of energy calling out a YouTuber? What does it really communicate? You want money. You figured the Jai Opataya money is easier than the Okolie money. Like, I'll get more money fighting Lawrence, but I might lose. So fuck that. Let me fight Jai, and then let me go back to the UK to Sky Sports so I could fight Richard Riakporhe for more money. Because I don't want to know with Lawrence. The sauce, he too saucy, fam. He too saucy.
Kind of like Taylor when he refused to take that Loma rematch.
I'm saying it looked like what it looked like, don't it? It looked like what it looked like.
Now Breeze want a rematch. Y'all.
I'm saying he gonna lose the rematch.
Hey, Jules.
Yeah.
So the Olympics not allowing boxing, to be in the Olympics anymore, or at least that's what they were saying. I thought they were hypocritical because, the Olympics ain't exactly clean themselves. They got their own corruption going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just different when it's in your face like boxing is. I mean, remember what happened to Roy?
Well, let's say this. Look, I asked Sulem about it, and she gave me like a short answer, like they'll sort it out. They just have to replace Aiba's president, and I hope that that's the case. They have until 2020. What is it? 2028?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll sort it out. I hope they do because it's like it will affect the sport if those young fighters don't get to go do that because that's their Super Bowl. You know what I mean? They spend all that time. That's their show. Some fighters are career amateurs. Some never go pro. That's their show. That is their Super Bowl. That's their playoffs or whatever. They need that. So I hope they sort it out.
There's some fighters who started so young.
The Olympics also kind of, also is a bit of a system for pro boxing as well, amateurs and the pros, because I mean that's where a lot of champions that were in boxing were all like former gold medalists and stuff.
Yep. In any event, gentlemen, I'm old. Yeah. It's almost 12. It's time to wrap it up.
I did.
All right, man. Hey, fellas, have a good night. Jules, thanks for having me on, brother.
No problem, man. See y'all on the next one.
Have a good night.